Hi. Good evening. It is Ironcart. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. I hope that you enjoyed your meditation and were able to capture a peaceful, calm, and happy state. You see, all these states are always within you, and I have told you that many times. And it always bears repeating, for you are the source of everything that you feel, how you act, how you react. All these things come from you. And this gives you great power in your life. You may not always think it's so, but it is truly so, because you have the power to choose how you want to handle any situation that is happening in your life. You do not have to be a victim. You can choose to be powerful. You can choose to be magnanimous. You can choose to be in harmony with what is happening, and you can choose to enjoy the moment. And you do frequently. There are times when you find yourself in the company of friends or other family members, perhaps children, and they can be so delightful, children, but of course they can be extremely annoying, but they are often delightful to watch them play or to deal with them. And if you can choose to be patient with them and to look at their innocence and have a discussion about whatever they want to talk about or what you introduce, you can do some gentle teaching by your kindness and affection for these small people. Of course, you can do this for older people too, and you can do this for anyone. It is within your power to do these things. How a situation turns out is largely a matter of how you react to it, whether you are at peace with it, whether you are in harmony with it, or whether you are yes, disharmonious with something, and you do not agree. And you see, that is very simple. So you do not like this thing. You're in a disagreement, but you can always interrupt someone. You can suggest that they talk about something else. You have many things to do that you can do, but mostly it is taking control of what you are saying and what you are doing and how you are feeling. This clarity of mind can come to you by simple practice. When you do not like something the way it is happening, remind yourself that it is your impression and it is your decision not to like this thing, and that you can be tolerant of it even though you do not like it. You do not need to argue. You do not need to be upset. You can simply say that this is a moment that you have to allow to have happen, and it will eventually move on. If you think of any unpleasant thing that you've had to do, such as the dishes every night, sitting in the dentist chair, having a procedure at the hospital, or getting a shot, having things that happen that are not desired by you, but perhaps needed by you, that you get through these things and they pass into history and they cease to affect you when they are in history. You do not have to keep bringing that which is in the past back into your present. You can let it go because you have that power in your own thought and in your own being. Now, the same thing goes for worry. Occasionally, you have a situation in which you have great fear over the potential, how things will turn out, that this could be harmful to you, it could hurt you, It may not work out in the best way possible. Your family members, your loved ones, someone may be hurt by this situation. And what if they lose something? What if they don't have enough money? What if they are not healthy? What if you can think of many, many things? And this you refer to as worry. Well, worry never gets you anywhere because you are imagining things that probably will not happen. It is one of the facts of life about worry. We sometimes feel that worrying helps us control our reactions if the worst should happen to us. So we're sort of practicing it. So it's okay to worry. But you already know that one of the metaphysical laws is that whatever you think about, you attract to yourself and you create in your life. So why would you wish to worry over horrible things that might happen to you or those people that you love? The things that might befall them, that they will be unhappy, that they will not be able to cope, that they might be hurt by some situation. And I will remind you that the only thing you really have power over is yourself and what you are thinking. You cannot help anyone, truly. You can offer suggestions, but you cannot make them be different than they are. You cannot make them take your suggestions. You cannot make them take your advice. Even if you know exactly what should be done with the utmost certainty, and you know that you are offering these solutions to someone, you cannot force them to follow your direction. Some of you have tried, and that is sometimes called manipulation because truly you can't make the decision, you can't take the action. And how do you get someone else to take the action? Well, perhaps you offer them a carrot or an apple or a piece of candy. You say, I will do this. Sometimes people try to manipulate God. Dear God, I will be a much better person if you grant my wish. I promise never to do X, Y, or Z again. I will make huge donations to the church. If I get my way and I win the lottery, I will do this, I will do that, and therefore I ask you to grant me the favor that I am asking. Well, it doesn't work on God. And it doesn't work on other people. Well, sometimes it does. That you can threaten them in some way, shape, or form that they will bow to your wishes reluctantly, unhappily. And maybe you will turn out right and then they won't care anymore. And maybe you will turn out wrong and they will resent you for it. But it is all up to you. You are the creator of your life. You create your life by what you see and how you interpret what you see, what you hear and how you interpret what you hear, what you are thinking about, all your thoughts. These things shape the life that you live. And if you remember that and you keep your thinking clear and positive, you will find that your life continues to be happy, that all problems come to an end and you find solutions for everything that you want. At the very least, time goes on and you find other ways of coping, other things to bring into your life. And you have gotten through the moment. And that is what you need to remember in most of your life. Worry is because you are fearful. And thinking about that which you fear does not give you more courage, does not give you more strength, does not give you more determination, and does not give you solutions. Asking for solutions, looking inside yourself, searching with your mind, and then your mind becomes clear. You find the solutions. You can take the actions. You can do something. You can feel good. You can be happy. You can be peaceful. You can love your life by merely determining that you wish to do so. And this is the way you want it to be. And this is how you think about it in every day. And as you do that, you create a wonderful life for yourself. So take your power. Know that you are the person who shapes your life, and use that knowledge to be strong, to be creative, to be proactive, and create a wonderful life for yourself. Are there any questions on what I have spoken in this evening? Or if you have other questions you would like to ask, please feel free.
Bronco.
Yes.
It's Diana. I wanted, based on what you've taught us tonight and spoken to us about, sometimes, I'm much older now, and I'm probably closer to leaving this plane than staying here. And so I think, things are coming to me more and more. I feel like I was very lucky early on because I was put on the path of enlightenment, self-discovery. I can remember even being 2 and 3 years old and things happening that were so interesting to me, and it was wonderful. And then the world starts to come down on you and you kind of lose that path. Who keeps you on that path? Does your guardian angel, or do you have to have a consciousness about it, even when you're a young child, to remain on it?
What keeps you on that pathway? Well, circumstances frequently keep you on that pathway, but it is more difficult, as you have said. Sometimes when you are very small, you do have curiosity, you do have revelations in every day of how things work and how they get together. And you begin to develop your own power to some extent or another. But what happens is that in developing your own power, you do not always use it understandably. You don't realize that you have choices in what you're thinking about and how you think about things. You become, let us say, the victim of your own reactions to situations, your own judgments, and you have absorbed over time the judgments, the thoughts, the ideas, the beliefs from your parents and the other adults that are around you, and even from your playmates. From time to time, playmates become very influential in your life, your peer group. Mm-hmm. And so that is how you lose the continued understanding, or what you may have had in the beginning, of how wondrous life can be, and that knowledge that you have the power to change it. You see, over time, you have also come across many things you couldn't change, especially if you were trying to change your friends, to change your parents, to change anything that was outside of yourself. Because all the power of change always comes from within. It comes from you understanding that I don't have to think this. I don't have to be unhappy over this situation. I can just accept it and move on and know that everything is going to be okay and this is temporary. You lose that belief and that understanding. And especially if you have tried to change things. Like you decide you can fly, so you jump off the roof of your house and flap your wings, your arms. It does not work out. And as a child, you probably did it off of something that you considered fairly high, which was not the roof of your house, but may have been from the 3rd or 4th step somewhere. And you landed hard and it hurt. And it is these simple things which teach you that you're powerless because you are trying to change things or people outside yourself. You cannot convince your mother to let you have the candy apple just before supper. She just will not let you eat it, or the candy, or whatever it is. You cannot change your mother's ideas. She won't listen. And
Mhm.
so you begin to feel powerless.
Mm.
And so it's when you understand that you have the total power to change how you look at the world, and that actually changes the world for you. When you get back that understanding, then you can go on and be as creative as you wish to be by altering circumstances and thinking of them in different ways and having different approaches to things in your life. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. I do. Yes. No, it's very helpful. I mean, when you say that you have the power to have the life you want, to create anything in your life, that it's to make anything happen in a way that you want it to, because it's coming from within. And you may observe reactions from outside, other people, situations that occur as a result of your behavior. They don't matter. You kind of just, they're not important. What's important is this, the ability to fully live your life as you want to. It's a great gift. That's why we're all here. Yeah.
Yes. And a good, you can transform many circumstances just within your mind. You
Mhm.
are familiar with the term of reframing things.
Yes.
What has happened? You have one interpretation. Let's give it a different interpretation of what happened. Instead of choosing to see that someone's action was harmful to yourself, you see that what they did was a reflection of them, had nothing to do with you. And that is the truth.
Yeah.
And so once you realize that and you do not personalize the things that other people say and do as having a reflection on yourself or your life or your idea,
Right.
you lose that attachment to pleasing people
Yes.
and having them approve of you because you know that you are happy in the way you are looking at things and doing things.
Mhm.
And you bring about that peace and harmony in your life, regardless of what is happening around you.
Mhm.
And you allow those things to be. And as I have said, you do not personalize them. They did not happen because of you.
Right. And so we start to understand that, like you said, we shouldn't fear things because, as you said, they fear someone's opinion of who I am or my behavior or whatever. That really we're all safe in this beautiful dream we've created for ourselves.
I do like your phrase, this beautiful dream we've created for ourselves. And it is, in a sense, a dream, but it is the version of reality that is true for you.
Mhm.
Everybody has a different version of reality.
Mhm.
And for some people, their reality they have created allows them to have very much fear. When you have confidence in yourself, you know that you will handle any situation,
Mhm.
and nothing is so hard that you cannot overcome it,
Mhm.
or nothing can put you down.
Right. 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 Because sometimes I feel like that I'm overwhelmed with joy at some of the things that I've seen while I'm here that are just amazing. And, I don't know, many
That
years.
is wonderful. Since you are now, when you are overwhelmed with joy, you are certainly enjoying the moment. And
Yes.
you cannot ask for any more in life when you see the beauty or
Yeah.
something beautiful or peaceful or harmonious or pretty. Um, then
Brave or heroic or whatever. Yes.
you can enjoy it. And if it happens not to be so pretty or ugly, you realize you don't have to look at it anymore. Focus on something else.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, Rankle. Thank
You are
you.
welcome. You are most welcome. Are there other questions?
Yes, Shankar. Hi, this is Soham.
It's Soham.
Yes,
Nice,
yes,
nice to hear from you, Soham.
yeah. Thank you. Nice to hear from you also. It's been a while since I joined this weekly meeting. Um, so Shankar, I wanted to ask you a few questions as I am doing my job search right now. I just wanted to share with you some of the insights I've gained and have your guidance on, kind of seeing if I'm going in the right direction or anything else that could help me uh, go in a more productive.
Certainly, I will be happy to listen and be of service.
Thank you, Ronka. So I've been listening to your sessions on YouTube, and the last week's session was particularly particularly powerful for me about clarity and inspiration coming to us as we ask the universe questions, and that's been happening with me very rapidly over the last month or so since I started my job search. I think my concept of what I wanted has evolved quite a bit since I started, and I think some of the things I've realized is I want to continue focusing on the optics and the photonics domain, and expand also to the semiconductor technology, because they are quite interrelated, and I am in that industry and find it fascinating. And it is in alignment with my educational background as well. So I feel confident I can pick it up. I have ruled out, or I would say de-emphasize life science or biotech companies, because biology just feels too much outside of my comfort zone. And it's hard for me to differentiate myself there. So even though there's some companies using photonics technology in that space, I just don't feel as excited about it. So I've kind of deprioritized those opportunities. And I have, I guess another thing I realized is I would like to work in opportunities with, kind of an innovation focus, and sort of moderate amount of travel, not too much travel, not too much travel requirements. So that's something else. And I think I have a preference for now focusing my search more in California, and particularly within driving distance if possible, or if not, within a short flight once in a while to a nearby location like the San Francisco area or Phoenix, for example, depending on what the opportunity is like. And I've been, as I've gathered momentum and clarity, I've been able to take more empowered action or inspired action, and applying to positions and networking, sending out my energy into the universe. So that's where I am in just a couple of short weeks, 4 or 5 short weeks. I've gathered this much momentum and clarity. And can you say if this is going in the right direction, or is there anything I should change about my approach?
Oh, well, you have narrowed down your direction very well for yourself. You have given it considerable thought and clarity of thought. You have sought inside yourself for the answers to your questions of exactly what it is that will make you happy in life. And self-knowledge is the key to that manifestation then. And knowing yourself now even better than you did several months ago, and you know where you would like to go and where your interests lie, you are making as many of the right decisions as you can, and taking the actions that you can. So I really would have nothing extra to say to you, or you have already taken my advice, so to speak, and put it to work for yourself by taking these actions and applying to the places, asking your networking, asking others, do they know possible positions or places that are hiring that might be interested in someone with your background, the science background as well as the business background. You may find, however, that the combination of the two, as you wish to focus more now using your science background rather than your business background, that employers may be more interested in you if they believe that they can utilize your knowledge and then your abilities from a business point of view to forward their ambitions for their countries, companies. And so I just wanted you to be aware of that it might be a little bit hard for you to focus on the scientific end of things and the practical aspects of your craft rather than the business aspects and how to sell and manifest success in areas. They will see that as the natural promotion for yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Uh, kind of. So let me check if I understand. So I'm, I guess I'm focusing in these areas, but definitely my focus will be more on the business side, expanding the business, growing the business company, revenue, profitability, etc., and managing it from more of a point of
I
view.
misunderstood your speaking. But
Sorry.
this is good. As long as
Yes.
you are interested and willing to utilize your business education
Yes.
and skills along with your science education and skills,
Yes.
you will be able to find the kind of position that will suit you.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I definitely, sorry, I left that out, but yes, I'm definitely focusing on product management positions, and there are several positions such as even like director of product marketing or product management, where the expanded business role is very attractive to me. So that is something that definitely excites me.
Good. I'm glad that you are happy with that, because it would be very hard for you to obtain a level of success if you were limiting that.
Yes, no, definitely. It will be something like, director of product management or senior product line manager, or something of that nature, some kind of commercial role.
Yes. Okay. All is
Industries.
well then.
Yes.
And you are taking all the right actions, so you should be successful.
Yes, thank you. So Ronka, I think I guess the more clarity I have, I'm focusing more on a local location. I really don't like the idea of anymore applying to companies that are like on the East Coast or quite far away, where travel might be cumbersome over time. And I think the more I'm focusing locally, I'm finding more opportunities locally. And I guess is that um, I guess San Diego is it's a major city, but I guess maybe not as many companies as like San Jose or the Silicon Valley area. Does it look like I can be successful with trying to stay local, or do you think I would have to expand my scope for geographies?
One moment, please. You will probably have to expand your scope, but it may be possible for you to work from home without, that is to say, on a part-time basis to be in one place or another. You may need to expand your scope, is what I am going to say. Limiting the opportunities is limiting your efforts. And when you limit your efforts, you limit your success horizon. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Even though you do not wish to move, by applying to places that are further away, you are putting a maximum effort into achieving your goal. By not applying to places because you feel they are too far away from you, you are limiting your effort. And since all things are achieved to the greatest degree by putting forth the greatest amount of energy, you do not want to limit yourself. Do you understand what I am trying to explain?
Yes, yes.
So apply for these places, even though you may not be interested in moving, because they will still open up other opportunities for you. And the opportunities will continue to come that you could possibly apply for and be happy with a position. So in other words, also what I am saying is that the company that is in a distant location may have a facility that is in a closer location, which may fit for you perfectly. And you understand about branch offices or facilities.
Right, right.
So that you cannot always know this from the words in an ad or a search area. So do not limit your opportunities. Make the applications. If they offer you a job and you do not want it because it is too far away, then it's your prerogative to refuse the job and thank them very much.
Right, right. I understand. That's very helpful, Rankar. So I will set aside the geography and just focus on the positions of interest and send my energy towards those.
Yes.
That will help attract the right opportunity for me.
Right. Let the location not be your guide, but continue in your affirmations that you will find the job in the right, most perfect spot for yourself, which may be the one that is closest to home.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and my affirmations are, I have attracted the perfect career opportunity for myself, and just leave it at that. And let universe bring me what's the best for me.
Right. And yes, so you have to be open to all opportunities, even if they be further away, because otherwise you will be limiting responses.
Okay, okay.
Are there other questions?
No, I think those are all the questions at this time.
Yeah, Ankar, this is Mahesh.
Yes, hi, Mahesh.
Yeah, Parmi has tested positive for pregnancy. So am I going, I'll become grandpa.
Oh, you're going to become a grandfather.
Charmi has tested positive for pregnancy. It has been how many? 3 weeks over?
6 weeks, 6 weeks.
6 weeks, 6 weeks.
She is 6 weeks pregnant?
Yeah, she is tested positive for pregnancy.
Yeah, she's pregnant. Yep.
How wonderful. I give you all my blessings and the blessings for the new baby.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you so much for the news. Are there other questions from anyone else?
Yeah, this is Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
So as you know, I'm in my 80s, and I want to tell you that I believe, everything, I practiced everything you shared with us, and I've had a wonderful life, a blessed life, and I still want to keep going. I'm not saying this is the end, but I was wondering about life itself. Like, I've accomplished everything I ever wanted or dreamed. Wonderful. I mean, everything I could have imagined, I've been able to turn into a reality, and I just know it works. And I try to tell my children that we do create our own reality, and that if you want something badly enough, you can make it happen. And some do and some don't, well.
I understand.
practice.
You can only tell your children who are now adults, and it is up to them to decide.
Right, to
what they
make it,
want.
yeah. So I was just wondering about, is our life predetermined? Like, are we put on this earth to learn certain lessons? And is there, is it predetermined as to when we are going to leave this earth? you
No, it
think?
is not predetermined as to when you are going to leave this earth. Many people incarnate with an idea or that as to when they might like to leave, but that is always flexible. Is your life predetermined in the sense that you have just stated that you achieved everything that you ever wanted to achieve? And of course, you did that through determination and hard work and affirmations and thinking how to solve problems and moving ahead. And when you incarnate, you are looking at your parents, you are looking at your time and place of birth that is most likely to give you the talents and the abilities that you will need to achieve your goals. You may have predetermined goals when you come in to an incarnation because you have decided that when you choose your parents and you choose that time and place of birth, you are choosing to give yourself the heredity and the guidance and the help of those parents and in shaping you so that you can be successful in life. Now, nothing is predetermined. So even though you make the best choice possible, it may not work out that way because you might lose your way. You might think different things. You might become distracted. There are many possibilities that keep an individual from achieving their goals in life. And you have said, you used the term not as goals, but I'm trying to remember exactly what how you phrased it, which lessons. You use the term lessons.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes you do have lessons that you want to learn. Sometimes you do have karma you want to balance out. But these things are variable in your life. So once again, you have the opportunity to take advantage of what you have set up and utilize it to learn a lesson. And in a sense, in learning a lesson, what are you learning? You could be just learning to be more loving so that you get lots of love back in your life, that you can be generous, that you can be successful. There are positive traits you might want to learn about and display within yourself. And as a result, a lesson need not be a hardship. It could be simply a manifestation of a skill that you have. Do you understand? And using that skill to create happiness for yourself.
Right. Well, what I wanted to say is that very recently, things have changed in that I feel more fearful and worry about one of my children and the circumstances that are happening, going on, and I wondered about dreams. Like, I don't remember dreams that much, but a few nights ago, for some reason, I was bothered by something my son told me about his little boy, who's like 8 months old, and he's not developing properly. His mother had COVID while she was pregnant, and she's drinking and smoking and stuff, and she's breastfeeding. And this must have bothered me, but I can't remember the dream. But he came to my room because I was yelling, "Oh no, oh no." And I'm wondering if it was my worrying about the little one, but I can't remember. How can you remember your dream when you're
Yes, well, the usual way is to decide you want to remember your dreams, and also to put a pad and a pen alongside your bed, because dreams are most best remembered as soon as you wake up. So if you should wake up with a dream, you need to write it down right away. And
see, my son woke me up immediately, but I didn't remember anything. And he
yes,
said you were yelling in your sleep. He thought I was in pain or something, that, it was physical.
yes, well, you were in non-physical pain.
Right,
You were,
right. Yeah.
worrying about the possibilities for this little boy.
Mhm.
And this is a difficulty. I understand that is going on in your life.
How can I
You
help?
cannot-
What can I do?
Ask your question.
I don't know what to do, how to help, because
You cannot
My-
help. And it is in accepting that you can find peace. You know, it is up to him to take care of his problems in his life, and to experience what he is going through. What you can do is make affirmations and know that he is capable of dealing with these things himself, that he has all the power, that he has all the intelligence to make the right decisions, to bring about the best results. That as he examines things, just affirm that you know him to be strong, intelligent, that he will make good decisions in his life and bring about the best results possible. That is about what you can do as far as affecting things that are going on with someone else in your family. That is similar to what I was speaking with Diana earlier, when I said that as children, we come across the fact there are many aspects of the reality that is outside of ourselves that we cannot change. And as a result, we lose the belief and the understanding that we are very powerful people. So your son and his son and his girlfriend and all that circumstance and the problems he has with his house are outside of yourself. And you do not have the power to make the decisions to bring about what you consider the best results. That power all lies within your son. So what you need to do is affirm his abilities, of his powerfulness, his ability to make the right decisions and take the right actions, and to know that everything will turn out all right in the end. Now, you may not think that something is turning out all right, such as the fact that his house is not livable. Maybe it needs to be condemned. Maybe it needs to be destroyed. I do not know. And however, you may think that is a disaster. But if that is what needs to be done to bring about a healing to the situation, then that will be the right decision for him to make. That he has some way of fixing something, and maybe he just needs to be destructive in its way. We know that sometimes it is necessary to remove something in order and to start all over again to make things right. You cannot always correct things. And so you just need to make affirmations to make yourself feel better about his ability to solve his own problems. And I know.
And financial difficulties. There are financial difficulties as well.
I understand.
Yes.
But I do not know whether you have the money to help him out. In all probability, you do not have enough money. And so there are things that he can do in this situation. He could sell this land and this house, because houses are very desirable, even those that are not in good condition, because people can build on the lot, and he can sell what he has and perhaps get himself out of the financial difficulty difficulty. There are ways in which you can declare bankruptcy because he cannot pay his bills, so, and cannot keep his house. If it gets him out of the position where then he can start taking the right actions and saving his money all over again, this is what needs to be done, even though you would consider that to be a disgrace or a terrible thing to happen. It may be the cause that is the cure. Do you
Right.
understand the difficulty that
yes.
cures the situation? And you
Right.
have to accept that. So for the time being, just make sure that when you pray, you thank God because your son is intelligent, that he is smart, that he will find the solutions that he needs to all his problems, that he is clear of mind, he takes the right actions and makes the right decisions and takes care of all the problems that are going on in his life in a way that is best for him. And then he will do those things because you will be giving him the confidence in himself
I wanted
to
to.
know to do what he has to do. Just tell him you know that he will make good decisions himself. And do not try to influence him on his decisions. Leave his decisions up to him and keep making those affirmations because one, it will make him stronger and help him to make better decisions. And two, it will make you feel better to think that, yes, my son is smart, intelligent, and he will work things out in the ways that work out best for him.
Thank you so much. I had to hear that from you. You've helped me a great deal.
Yes,
Thank
it's a reminder that this is what
Yes.
we have to do in time of worry. You are
Right.
fearful, so you are worrying. And so
Yes.
what you
It
need
doesn't
to
help
do,
to do that. Right.
yes, is just make your affirmations and know with all your heart that your son is smart enough, he has the ability to make the right decisions to bring about that which is best for him in his best interest.
Good. Thanks again.
You are
Thank
welcome. Are there other questions?
Hi, this is
Hello.
Jan.
Who is this?
Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Hey, I'm just curious. I go on different programs and there's one, I don't know the person, but there's one that he had other people speaking and he always speaks. And and I get visions and every day for months I was seeing him like if he was there in the room. I'm just curious, does this person need healing or what's going on?
Does he what?
Need healing?
Oh, and this is a person that you watch on television, is it?
Yeah, not on television.
Over the
It's on
com-
Zoom meetings. It's like some spiritual programs.
I see.
And I don't know him personally.
And so why are you concerned?
I was just curious mainly.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Well, and do you know his name?
Michael.
Is he the speaker on the program or is he a participant?
No, he's one of the speakers.
Okay. And your concern is that he is not in good health?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know him personally. I just keep getting visions of him every day.
I see. You are attracted to him and interested in him, not as necessary as anyone in particular, just interested in him. And for some reason, you are getting visions of him.
Well, I'm not attracted to him. I'm married.
I didn't mean that. Excuse me. That was not what I meant.
Oh,
But you
okay.
can be attracted to someone who has information that you want. You can be attracted to someone because they are smart or intelligent and they speak to you in some way. and I was thinking that way, or someone you would like to be friends with, and you may not even wish that. You are basically, it seems to me, asking, why do you continue to have visions of him, of this person with whom you have no personal relationship? And I will try to figure that out, but I will be honest before. Just give me a moment, but it is unlikely I will be able to help you there, but I will see what I can do. A moment, please. I believe that you are having the visions of him because you are concerned for him in some way, that he is giving you the impression that he is in need of help, that although he is perhaps on a panel or speaking and trying to be giving inspirational messages or helpful messages, that you may be sensing that this is not truly a manifestation of himself, that he is speaking more from the intellect rather than the heart, in which case he is not manifesting what he believes for himself. And I think you are just interested that way because you are sensing that he is not as true to himself as he would have you believe, being in the position that he is on these spiritual programs.
That's kind of what I was feeling. Thank you.
You are most welcome. And of course, he is outside of yourself and you cannot help him in any way, but you can always wish him well and send him blessings for his happiness and his success.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions?
Hi, my name is Julie. This is my first time listening to you. I just wanted to say thank you for hosting. I had a question in regards to my children. I'm a young mom with 3 children. They're ages 10, 7, and 2. I've always been interested in homeschooling, and with the pandemic, I chose to homeschool last year. While it definitely had its challenges, it definitely had great rewards. My question is one that's always on my heart, and it is how to know what is best for each of my children in terms of continuing to be homeschooled or to go back to public school. I know that for each of my children, it could be different. And I know it could be this year or in 5 years or not at all. And I very much appreciate your guidance for those that I've listened to tonight about how to make decisions for yourself and how to pray for children who are older. But I'm still in a position where I am making decisions for my children. And I always want to do what's best for them because they are on their own journey here to learn their own lessons. And I don't ever want to interfere with that. I want them to fully learn and experience what they need to. And I don't want my choices to inhibit that in any way.
Yes, well, know that they will always learn and experience what they need to. That is inevitable in life. If there is something they need to learn, it will come, they will have an opportunity to learn it. You have essentially a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old in school. The 2-year-old is not germane to your question at the moment. He will
Correct.
be in another 3 years. But you can, I know that you have to make decisions for your children. However, you can make them aware of the fact that they have the opportunity to continue homeschooling, that you would be very pleased to continue their homeschooling. But if they have a desire to return to regular schooling, because they just might to experience friends, that you would be okay with that, and you would want them to let you know if they truly would prefer to go back to school. But you will continue to homeschool until they tell you that, or until you are no longer comfortable doing that, but you would not mention that to them. Should they come to you, recognize that that decision need not be cast in stone, that from now on they have to always attend school. So if they were to come to you and say, yes, I want to go back to school because I want to be able to see my friends regularly, and you have not been able to solve that issue in homeschooling so that you have not made arrangements for them to be with friends and have regular social interactions with people. But if they come to you, then of course you need to make it clear that should they change their mind, you will be most happy to continue to homeschool again in the future. That is what is most important, is that they are getting the education that they need. And children, the social interactions for children that children must deal with in school is also part of their education. We do not want you to either stop your homeschooling because of that consideration, if the children prefer to be homeschooled, because in truth, it is very possible that they will make much better progress in their scholastic exercises with you at home than they will do in school. And it is only on the social level and dealing with the issues of having to deal with other children and a teacher and the other things that are challenges for children as they are growing up, which must be learned and must be experienced if it is possible. At some point in time, you will probably want them to return to school, perhaps by the time they reach the high school grades, for the social activities and for the wider curriculum that will be available to them, unless there are ways in which you can give them other opportunities to learn some classes for which you may not be familiar. Or skills. So that is my suggestion to you. You do not have to give your children, do not give up control of your ability to make the decisions, but you can give your children the ability to give you input so that you can make decisions that will be helpful to themselves. Do not assume that they are children and they do not know what is best for them. Just look at what it is they wish or the desire. One way that helps children learn a very special skill is the skill of making decisions in their highest, for their best interest, as they can see. And as your parent, if they should come and tell you that they want to go back to school in the classroom, you can listen to them and say, well, there are many advantages. I'm glad that you want to go back to school. And what is it that you're missing? And see if you can take care of that at home. And the other thing is to ask them to bring up the pros and cons, what's good about going back to school and what may be good about staying home. And but try not to influence them too strongly in that decision, because in truth, staying with you as well as going back to school are both good decisions for a child to make, so to speak, because they will be well educated otherwise. And certainly if they go back to school, you would say, if you're not doing well in school, then I may have to take you, you may have to come back and I will teach you.
Thank you. My oldest is very hesitant and shy in new situations. And we are very open about returning to school if he would like to, and being home if he would like to. I kind of have to give him a push sometimes to try something new. For example, soccer, he didn't want to try, but it turned out to be something he loved and went on to play 5 seasons. But he still needed me on the field next to him. You know, I couldn't just leave him at soccer practice. He still needed somebody there. So I don't ever want him to make his decision based in fear. I want to teach him to follow his heart and not let his mind kind of, you know, run around in circles and create a fearful situation in which he's trying to avoid. So I guess I'd like to make the best decision for him. I know what he wants to stay home. He's comfortable here, and he did learn a great deal, and he's become very well versed in helping with a baby, now a toddler, which are fantastic skills, obviously, for later in life. But I would like to make sure that I'm not keeping things too comfortable at the same time, and not holding him back from branching out from something he might not try just out of fear. So I guess that's where I'm back and forth.
Simply encourage him, tell him you know that he can do well in anything that he wishes to try, that it is, you are already taking many good decisions, taking the right actions and making good decisions, so that you are encouraging him to move out of his comfort zones, to keep trying new things. Of course, the schoolwork will become more demanding for him, and you will tell him that, you know, he can do it, and do not let him worry. You have already said you don't want him to have his mind running around in little worry circles. So you tell him not to think those things, that they are not helpful, and to know that he can do anything that he wants because he is strong and he is capable, and give him as many good words as you can, and that will boost his self-confidence and his self-esteem. And certainly the experience with soccer is a good example for you to remind him, remember when you didn't want to play soccer?
Yeah. All right, the last question is also related. When making decisions for your children, do you have any tips for following your heart when you live in a world with a lot of information and a lot of people who have a say in what you're doing? For example, getting a vaccine. You know, I ask a lot of questions and I do a lot of research, but ultimately I try to follow my heart. And I didn't know if you had any good tips for kind of blocking out the noise when it comes to making those decisions, and really listening to my mother's intuition, and that kind of being the bottom line.
There is a difficulty in listening to the mother's intuition, and that is that sometimes it is how shall I put it? A reflection, the intuition can be a reflection of the mother's heart rather than and what is necessarily good for the child. You have to be aware of that within yourself. Now, it sounds to me as if you work at educating yourself, finding out the information that is most germane to a situation, and making then decisions that you need. Ultimately, there are many, many decisions you have to make. And we are speaking about your 10-year-old here. And
7-year-old in this particular situation.
in this particular one, the 7-year-old. Well, the 7-year-old, he still needs you to make many decisions for him. And you should not always be discussing things with him about what he should do, because it is more appropriate for you to say, this is what I think should be done, particularly at his stage. And if necessary, tell him the reasons why you think so. And just tell him that this is the way it is going to be. At some point in time, in another 5 years, he will start wanting to be separate and independent. That's what a child does when they go through puberty, and he may not want to listen. And then you can allow him to make a small portions of decisions for himself, things that are not life or death, certainly, or super important, but by giving him the power to make some decisions for himself, you will help him to learn how to make decisions. And if he should make a bad decision, and you know it's going to be a bad decision, if it's a decision you left up to him, you abide by his decision and let him experience the negative consequences of his decision, because that is very important. To know that what you want may not be always the right thing, and you need to think about what's the consequences of your decisions. And you can, of course, tell him the consequences as you see them if he is getting rebellious, but it is important that you allow consequences for decisions to evolve naturally from themselves as a parent. But you are trying your hardest to be the best parent possible. So therefore, looking into your own heart and knowing that you still want the best for him, I have confidence in you to take the right actions and make the best decisions that you can do in every situation. And that is all you can ask of yourself. From time to time, you may be wrong, and other times you will be right. And you have to know when, even when you're wrong, or things didn't work out as well as you would have liked them to, that you did the best that you could as being a parent. For it is apparent to me that you are making every effort to be an excellent parent to your children. And no one can ask more, and no child could ask more from his parent. Excuse my voice, I am croaking. It is just
Thank you.
it's the end of the evening. So I hope all is well, and you have, I give you many blessings for you and your children. Are there other
Thank you.
questions? It is getting near the end of the evening. We need to wrap it up in a few moments. Are there any other questions? Well, it has
Just
been
had
my
a quick question about when you're picking your parents. Children have been born to, like, say, drug addicts and violent alcoholics and so forth, and they wind up being adopted. Is the baby choosing to be born to those people, or is he actually choosing the adoptive parents he winds up with?
which he wouldn't wind up with if it wasn't for the fact that he was being born to a drug addicted person or an alcoholic or something. I understand your question. That is an interesting question. And there you are looking at the choice of a parent in which the child will be taken away from the parent, that it knows when, or we know that this is a distinct possibility that will happen, being born to this parent. But there is a certain genetic identity and genetics that go through and bring problems and benefits in a lifetime. So that parent may still be beneficial or desirable as being the birth parent to someone because of the heredity that will be born, that they will inherit through their birth parents, and the time and place of birth are also essential. So what are they choosing there? Well, they are choosing the hereditary identity and the time and place of their birth, with the possibility of being adopted by this particular set of parents in the future, or at birth. That these things.
So they are picking the adopted parents too.
In a sense, yes, because that is not guaranteed. None of it is guaranteed when you enter into a lifetime. The only thing you have is the talents and abilities that you will inherit, the tendencies, the difficulties that you will inherit, as well as the astrological influences that you will receive. The others are all possibilities which will evolve from that time and place. And as a result, there is uncertainty. And so you cannot say they are choosing the adopted parents, because all you can choose is the birth parents.
Oh, okay.
So that is the actual choice for the heredity and the astrology of the time and place. And the other things are seen as possibilities. And of course, those possibilities do manifest, but it is not the reason. They would not choose for the possibility of being adopted by this set of parents. They are choosing the heredity from their birth parents.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And as it is at the end of our evening, I will take this moment to give you all my blessings and say good night. It has been my pleasure to be with you, and I thank you for your questions, for I'm sure your questions have benefited everyone else that is here. And there is a reminder that the medium will not be here for the next 2 weeks. There will be no Ask Spirit anything. So I give you my blessings. Good night.
How about tomorrow? Are you going to be here tomorrow?
The medium will be here tomorrow. I will not be speaking through the medium tomorrow. I give you my blessings. Good night. You can ask the medium when she comes back.
Thank you.
I give you my blessings. Good night.